hoping that some sternly worded letter or a long-forgotten clause in the fire code might eventually tip the scales? Or do you take a stand, not out of spite or pride, but out of a sense of duty, of responsibility to something bigger than one person's obsessive need for control?
I didn't have an answer, not yet, but the universe, God, fate, karma, whatever you want to call it, well, it decided to give me one in the most terrifying, unequivocal way possible.
It was just after midnight, 2 weeks after the boulders were planted. A dry lightning storm had rolled through earlier in the evening, the kind that makes firefighters uneasy. The call came in: structure fire, Harmony Creek, Whispering Pines Lane. My stomach dropped. I was already halfway into my gear before the address fully registered. Karen's house, the queen herself. We tore through the darkness in engine 12, red lights bouncing off wet asphalt, sirens splitting the silence. I was gripping the console, mentally mapping our route. My gut told me what was coming, but it didn't prepare me for the reality. When we hit the mouth of Whispering Pines, I saw the glow, orange and hungry, flickering behind Karen's perfect hedges. But the road, the boulders, they stood like two smug sentinels, immovable and indifferent, daring us to try. Back it up, I barked to our driver. We'll have to go around. Try Elm and cut across Maple. It added 6 minutes. 6 minutes of fire devouring siding, climbing eaves, curling inward. 6 minutes of screaming sirens and tightening chests. 6 minutes Karen didn't have. When we finally got the hoses charged and lines pulled, the front half of the house was already lost. We got it under control, no thanks to the sentinels. Karen stood across the street in a bathrobe, mascara streaked down her cheeks, clutching a dog I never knew she had. For once, she said nothing. No pink hard hat, no clipboard, just silence. Later, the fire marshal's report was blunt. Delayed response due to obstructed access. Cause of fire? Likely electrical. The boulders? Noted as contributing to the extent of the damage. The aftermath wasn't pretty. Karen tried to spin it at first, called the fire a tragic but isolated incident, said the department was overreacting, that the delay wasn't that significant. But the neighbors had seen. They'd watched the truck reverse, watched a scramble. They'd seen the flames, smelled the smoke, heard Karen's sobs as her dreams turned to ash. This time the letters poured in. To the HOA board, to the fire marshal, to the local news, and then finally to Karen. A recall petition, with 82% of the neighborhood behind it. She couldn't fight it, not even with her battalion of bylaws and beautification bulletins. At the next emergency meeting, packed tighter than a sardine can with angry residents, Karen stepped down. She didn't apologize, but she didn't have to. The smoke-stained shell of her house said everything. The boulders? Removed within the week.
The sentinels had fallen. The day after the cleanup, Uncle Vince wheeled out Bartholomew again, now wearing a tiny fireman's helmet. He planted him where the boulders once stood, next to a new handmade sign, "Safety is the best kind of serenity." I won't say Harmony Creek changed overnight.
You can't park that there.
Bureaucracies don't work like that. But something shifted.
We're not moving.
The rulers disappeared. The rulers were retired. The grass grew a little wild, the wind chimes returned, and Dave's hose proudly spiraled clockwise in counter. As for me? I still catch whiffs of smoke some days and wake up wondering if we could have gotten there faster. But when I drive down Whispering Pines now, there's space. Real space. 4 trucks. 4 people. 4 common sense. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that's how you win. Mr. Abernathy had survived, but the incident was a turning point. A man nearly died, and Karen's reaction? Perhaps if Mr. Abernathy had maintained a healthier lifestyle as outlined in the HOA's Wellness Wednesday newsletter, such unfortunate incidents could be avoided. Her words dropped like ice water over the crowd of worried residents gathered near the boulders. Even her loyalists shifted uncomfortably. Dave's face went pale. I felt something inside me snap. Karen wasn't just bossy.
You can't park that
She
there.
was
You
callous.
Need to reverse it.
This wasn't about power anymore.
We're not moving.
It was about principle. So we shifted tactics. Safety hadn't worked. Maybe the money would. Dave and I started poring over HOA meeting minutes, expense reports, and any financial document we could access, which was easier said than done. Karen claimed transparency, but actual appointments to view the books were rarer than a snowstorm in July. When we did get access, the spreadsheets were vague: landscaping enhancements, community engagement initiatives. Big numbers, no details. It was suspicious. Dave, ever the accountant, cross-referenced what little we had with public records. That's when we found Rock Solid Landscaping Solutions LLC, supplier of the boulders. Then she went too far. Mrs. Rodriguez, a single mom who'd criticized the boulders, was hit with a storm of fines. Chalk art? Graffiti? Vegetable patch? Unauthorized landscaping? Kids laughing? Noise violation. It was absurd and cruel.
You can't park that there.
We couldn't wait forever to nail her on fraud.
Man, we have a fire
But
to
the
get
boulders?
to. We're not moving.
They were an imminent safety threat. Then, in the early hours of a quiet shift at the station, the call came. Structure fire. 112, Whispering Pines Lane. My heart dropped. That was right near the boulders. I knew what we were in for.
You can't park that there. You need
We
to
were
reverse
first
it.
on scene.
Man,
As
we
our
have a
engine
fire to
roared
get
toward
to.
the
We're not
neighborhood,
moving.
my pulse raced. We rounded the bend into Whispering Pines, and there they were, the sentinels of serenity, blocking our path. No room, Marco called from the officer's seat. Our captain, Mike, radioed it in. Roadway obstruction at Whispering Pines. Unable to
You can't
proceed
park that
without
there.
contact.
You need to reverse it.
Requesting permission
Man,
to
we have a fire
mitigate.
to get to. We're not moving.
Permission granted. Mike didn't hesitate. He downshifted, and we plowed forward. The engine groaned. Metal screeched against stone. One boulder crumbled. The other gouged the road but finally gave way. We were through.
You can't park
And
that
there,
there. You
right
need to
beside the
reverse
carnage,
it.
stood Karen.
Man, we have a fire
Robe,
to get
curlers,
to. We're not moving.
camera phone in hand. Screaming. Vandals. Hooligans. You'll pay for this. My beautiful sentinels. She hadn't even noticed what was behind her. Then the dispatcher came through again. Confirmed structure fire at 112 Whispering Pines. The caller is the
Man, we have a
homeowner.
fire to get to. We're not moving.
Karen's house. As flames crept up the siding of her precious colonial, her voice caught in her throat. Her phone dropped. For the first time since she took power in Harmony Creek, Karen had nothing to say. And for the first time, she saw the true cost of her vanity. There was a small, choked gasp.
You need to reverse it.
Whispering Pines Lane, the
Man, we have
serene,
a fire to
absurdly
get to. We're
obstructive
not
crown
moving.
jewel of Harmony Creek, was about to become the hottest spot in town. And its self-appointed queen? She was right at the heart of the inferno. In a way, she'd helped make it harder to fight. What would she do now? More importantly, what were we about to face? The scene at 112 Whispering Pines was escalating fast.
Man, we have a fire to get to.
Flames
We're not
no
moving.
longer danced politely along the siding. They roared, devouring the expensive cedar shake facade and clawing hungrily toward the designer asphalt shingle roof that Karen once bragged had cost more than my first car. Heavy, acrid smoke billowed into the night sky, lit by the hellish orange glow of the fire. And then, as if
You can't
choreographed
park that
by
there. You
disaster
need to
itself,
reverse it.
a series of sharp, booming
Man, we have a
explosions
fire to
erupted
get
from
to.
the
We're
back
not
of the
moving.
house. Boom. One. Boom. Propane tanks. Mike shouted as we pulled up, already seeing lines flaked off the engine. Outdoor kitchen. Watch for shrapnel. Great. Karen's obsession with upscale outdoor living was now actively trying to kill us. Even from the street, the heat was punishing. This wasn't a kitchen fire. This was a full structural involvement, and it was spreading. Karen, frozen in place behind her infamous mold-encrusted
Can't park
boulders,
that there.
suddenly
You need to
came
reverse
alive.
it.
But it wasn't
Man,
with
we have a
screeching
fire to get
rage.
to. We're not moving.
This was different, raw, panicked. She bolted toward us, pink slippers flopping, silk robe flapping wildly. No, not my house. But then her wail shifted, focused, desperate. My babies. My pom-poms. You have to save them.
You can't park that there.
Peaches
You need
and
to
Prancer,
reverse it.
they're in my bedroom.
Man, we have a
Please.
fire to get to. We're not moving.
Her voice cracked. Tears streamed down her face, streaking through the thin layer of soot already settling on everything. Gone was the imperious HOA president, the tyrant of taupe. In her place was a woman hysterical not about her antiques or custom millwork but for her dogs. Her Pomeranians.
Can't park that there. You need
The
to
names were as
reverse it.
fluffy and ridiculous as the
Man,
dogs
we have a
probably
fire to
were.
get to. We're not moving.
It was the first truly human thing I'd ever seen from Karen. It didn't erase the damage she'd done. Not the boulders, the lawsuit threats, or the danger she'd created. But for a fleeting second, I didn't see the HOA despot, I saw a heartbroken pet owner. That's when Uncle Vince appeared through the
can't
smoke,
park that there. You
barefoot,
need to
in
reverse
pineapple
it.
print pajamas, wielding a
Man, we
tiny
have a
red
fire
fire
to get to.
extinguisher
We're not
like a
moving.
cutlass. Stand back, folks, I got this, he announced, aiming the extinguisher vaguely at the inferno. Just a little barbecue gone wrong, huh, Karen? Then he saw the full blaze. Oh dear. A nearby firefighter gently redirected him. Thanks, Vince, but we've got slightly bigger hoses.
Man, we have a fire to
Unfazed,
get to.
Uncle
We're not
Vince
moving.
began directing the arriving crews. Engine 4 hit the hydrant near the Miller's, better pressure. Ladder 3, mind her prize-winning azaleas. She'll haunt you if you trample them. Absurd, but weirdly comforting. A slice of normal in the middle of chaos.
You can't
Karen
park that
clutched
there.
my
You
arm,
need to
her
reverse it.
manicured nails digging into my
Man,
turnout
we have a
coat.
fire to get to. We're not
Please.
moving.
Peaches. Prancer. They're my world. I can't lose them. Captain Mike was already barking orders. Marco, get a line inside. Jack, Miller, primary search. Street side second floor.
You can't park
He glanced
that there.
at Karen,
You need to reverse
then at the
it.
blaze.
Man,
2
we have
in,
a fire
2
to
out.
Get to. We're not moving.
Move. We were going in not just to fight the fire, but to rescue 2 trembling fluff balls named Peaches and Prancer. Ironic, considering minutes ago she threatened to sue us for scratching her rocks. But justice wears turnout gear. And carries an axe. The front door
Can't
bubbled
park
from
that
heat.
there. You need to reverse it.
Miller gave it one good steel-toed
Man,
kick,
we have a
and
fire
it
to get
splintered
to. We're
inward,
not moving.
releasing a blast of searing air. We crawled in low, visibility near zero, heat pressing in like a fist. Our headlamps cut pale yellow cones through smoke as the fire roared, beams cracked, and water hissed from hoses behind us. Stairs, left side. Miller shouted. We climbed
Can't
blindly,
park that there.
every
You
step
need
a
to
gamble
reverse
on
it.
whether the floor would hold.
Man, we have a fire
Outside,
to get to. We're
the
not
battle
moving.
raged. To gain access, crews were, let's say, redecorating Karen's landscaping. Her beloved poodle-shaped topiaries? Chainsawed to mulch. Her imported rose hedge? Axed into clearance. The kind of aesthetic massacre that would have made Karen faint if
Can't
she
park
weren't
that there.
already
You
a
need to
sobbing mess
reverse it.
clutching a fire blanket.
Man, we have a fire
Upstairs,
to get to. We're
we
not
shouted
moving.
into the smoke. Peaches. Prancer. Come on. It felt absurd, yelling cutesy names mid-blaze, but we pressed on. The master bedroom was engulfed. Miller coughed, backing away. Nothing alive in there. Then I heard it,
Can't
a
park that
yelp.
there. You need to reverse it.
Weak, but real.
Man, we have a fire
Hold
to
up.
get to. We're not moving.
I pushed past Miller. Another yelp closer. Smaller room. I kicked open the hot door to find 2 soot-covered pom-poms shaking under a vanity table. Got 'em. I yelled, scooping them up, one under each arm. Featherlight, hearts racing.
Can't park that there. You need
Getting
to
out
reverse
was
it.
harder.
Man,
Fire
we have a
surged
fire to
behind
get to.
us.
We're not moving.
But we made it, bursting into the cool night air, dogs still pressed to my chest. Karen collapsed when I handed them to her. She clung to them, sobbing, whispering thanks through snot and soot. With the dogs safe, we turned to the house. Pour the water to it, Mike ordered.
You can't
Thousands
park
of
that there.
gallons
You need
flowed.
To reverse it.
The designer living
Man, we
room
have
became
fire
a
to get
swamp.
to. We're not moving.
The custom drapes? Rags. The Persian rug? A pond. Her curated gray-on-gray paint? Blistered and bubbling. Structurally, we saved half the house. Internally? Toast. As steam
Can't park
rose
that
from the
there. You need
ruins,
to
I
reverse
thought.
it.
House,
Man, we
saved.
have a fire to get to. We're not
Contents, ruined. Ego, incinerated. Dawn was breaking. Karen sat on the curb in a blanket, Peaches and Prancer nestled against her. Her house was a blackened shell. Her rule? Over. The fire marshal took statements.
You can't park that there.
Police
You need
asked
to
for
reverse
Karen's
it.
phone, the same one she used to
Man,
film
we have
us
a fire
ramming
to
her
get to.
boulders.
We're not moving.
That footage? Now prime evidence of obstructing emergency response. The fallout was swift. Charges filed. The boulders removed at her expense. The HOA's insurer refused to cover the damage to our truck. That bill, a 5-figure repair job, landed in Karen's mailbox. Then
Man, we
came
have a
deeper
fire to get
questions
to. We're not
about
moving.
HOA finances, unauthorized expenditures, the beautification fund. Investigators got curious.
You have to save us!
Those breadcrumbs Dave and I had found? Suddenly very interesting. 2 days later, the remaining board called an emergency meeting. It lasted 11 minutes.
You can't park that there.
A
You
new
need to
bylaw
reverse it.
requiring 24/7 emergency
Man, we have a
vehicle
fire to get
clearance
to. We're
passed
not moving.
unanimously. Even Gerald, the timid treasurer, found his voice. Karen's reign was over.
There, please, you have to
Her
save
kingdom was ashes. Her house ruined. Her name? Mud. Was it justice? It sure felt like a solid down payment.
us. You can't park
A
that
few
there.
months
You need to
later,
reverse
Harmony
it.
Creek finally exhaled.
Man, we have a fire to get
The
to.
lane
We're
was
not moving.
repaved. Wind chimes tinkled. Neighbors actually talked again.
Pomeranians are in
Uncle
there.
Vince crowned himself director of neighborhood merriment. Dave flipped black market seasoned burgers on my deck. The new HOA repealed half of Karen's worst rules. That's when she appeared.
You can't park that there. You need
No
to
power
reverse it.
suit. No
Man, we have
glare.
a fire to get to. We're not
Just
moving.
jeans, fatigue, and 2 calm poodles at her side. Jack, I'm sorry.
Pomeranians are in there, please.
For
You have to
all of
save
it.
us.
She pressed an envelope into my hand. A donation for the volunteer department. We're selling the house. Moving on. I
You
nodded.
can't park that there. You need
No
to
words
reverse it.
needed. She
Man,
turned,
we have a
the
fire
dogs
to get
trotting
to. We're
beside
not
her,
moving.
and walked down the newly cleared street. Justice, I realized, isn't always sirens and subpoenas.
Pomeranians are in there, please. You have to
Sometimes,
save us.
it's a quiet road, a decent burger, and a humble tyrant leaving town. Harmony Creek was quiet again. And the quiet sounded wonderful.